Hey guys, I wasn't really sure if I was going to have any time to make some comments on the team finals, but here I am. First of all, I'm really proud of the US girls, and I in no way think that it was Alicia's fault that they got silver instead of gold. In fact, fans who are pounding that idea really shouldn't. I agree with John Roethlisberger because he did a video for NBC. I just saw it online, and basically he's talking about American fans just needing to get behind the US team and not punish Alicia for that forever. And so here's my chance to be behind the team, and I want to talk about the positive moments from last night. So I'm just going to say a few things about each girl and what they added to the team and what came out of it and how much I respect them for what they did. First of all, I read somewhere that Chelsea Mimmel's foot was actually broken and she competed on a broken foot, and so she remains to be really just my hero out of all of this because she's just such an inspiration and an amazing athlete. Secondly, I thought it was so cool how Bridget Sloan just worked really well with the pressure. She wasn't even on bars, she was on vault, and I thought it was super interesting how in one of the Gymnastics.com videos she once said that her vault that she performed was actually her toughest skill to learn, and so it just became a story of someone's greatest struggle being their greatest victory. Speaking of a great struggle being a great victory, I think that was definitely the case with Nastia's dismount on her bar routine. Everyone, I think, just breathed a sigh of relief after that, and I definitely shed a tear. She was able to pull off the highest score in gymnastics in these Olympics with that 16.9. So that was definitely a plus for her. But it was interesting as I was watching the full broadcast on NBCOlympics.com, I heard her say in the footage, she said, "Dang it, just 1/10. So she definitely wanted to hit that 17 mark, but she still got several other chances for it, so I think she can do it, and that'll be awesome to see that. Something that I thought about Sean that they alluded to during her beam routine was the fact that her full turn with leg at horizontal was a huge accomplishment for her because she really performed it really well last night, probably the best she's ever performed it. And I think that's because she's wanted to finish that turn on her toe and on her tip toe, and she did that, and Elfie Schlegel alluded to that last night, and that is really cool to have that highlight of your performance, one of your performances doing that at the Olympics. And it's just interesting because the full turn with the leg at horizontal it's like the dreaded full turn, and so many other gymnasts don't quite get it right, and I just think that points out the difference between a Chinese or an American gymnast and the rest of the world. It's just incredible, the margin of the points. It was incredible how well they are compared to the rest of the world, and little things like that are and then definitely for Alicia, yeah, she had some bad moments, but that vault that she put in during the team competition definitely was one of the reasons why we were even ahead going into the bars rotation. And she totally needs to know that she accomplished so much with that vault, and people need to realize that too, that we wouldn't be where we are as a team without her, despite anything that happened and despite things that just happened because they're human. So I really think that she did a really great vault, and that was important. And then lastly for Sam, it seems like, wow, what a letdown. We didn't even get to see her compete, and she didn't get to compete in anything, and I know she felt bad about that, but to see her embrace her new role as the cheerleader was really neat. And I think that was the one positive thing from her, is that she embraced it, and she even said, she was happy to be out there cheering for her girls, and that means a lot. So that role that she played is definitely a positive note. So on to a few random notes. I know it sounds a bit corny, but I actually noticed that with the silver outlining on the leotards, the US leotards, the silver medals actually look really nice with them in the photos. So I think that's pretty cool. And then my feelings toward China winning the gold. I mean, it's hard to accept with everything that's happened and all of the controversy and all that, but you know, in their moment when they were up there, I was happy for them, and it's kind of hard not to be when you see the faces of their gymnasts so happy and smiling. And you know, so that whole thing with the age, I like the way Steve McCain put it in an article. He said, if they want to put their integrity on the line by cheating, then they will eventually pay the price. And it's interesting because there's been a little discrepancy in a possible Chinese gymnast being 14 at the 2000 games, and so it's weird with the timing of everything, but you know, it all works out in the end, I think, and it's all meant for a reason. So I think the girls feel that way too, and you really can't do anything about it, so just trying to enjoy everything and be okay. Also, you know, I thought that the USA and Russia were very similar in the battles that were going on during the competition for the gold and silver and then bronze and 4th place. And but you know, I think it's cool that Romania won. I didn't really have a preference over who I wanted to take the bronze medal, but that was interesting how that all played. And you know, in the end, with where the footage of the Romanian team and the Russian team hugging each other, it honestly seems like they genuinely care about each other, and you know, it's nice to see that kind of sportsmanship. And even though the Russians were sad, you know, they congratulated them, and so that was cool. Another random thing I noticed, I didn't actually notice until these games, there's a slight resemblance of Sandra Basha and Nastia Lukin, and I really didn't notice that until these games. And it's funny because at the very end, you see them when they're back before they come out for the medals. You see them taking a picture with each other, and so that's also, as far as quality of gymnastics go. You know, when I watched France on the beam, it just didn't seem like they had any rhythm or flow to their beam sets, and it was just one skill after another, and it was like in their mind, it's like, okay, full turn, check, you know, gotta get myself down to the beam to where my leotard touches the beam, got that out of the way, check. You know, it's just one thing after another, and there's no fluidity to it. So I definitely noticed that as a big difference between the way that and I feel the same about Diane Santos, her floor routine. Her tumbling is refreshing as far as the variety, but she's just so bouncy, and some of her form doesn't seem quite as exquisite as other countries. So, but it was nice to get to see them, and even though the quality is not quite up there, it's still interesting. But basically, I'm now moving on to the mindset of being just really excited about the all-around to see what happens. I think it would be great if Nastia and Sean go 1-2, and the Americans kind of sweep that up there at the top. And I think it's gonna be a great competition. I know everyone's really excited to see it. So I hope you guys have a great time watching it, and I'll see you around.